Welcome back. Oh man, the safe space. Here we are. We're back, man. Episode 2. So we got some great feedback from episode 1. We're still working through kinks, trying to get this thing going, making sure we give quality, sound and quality interviews. So with Father's Day just passed, we want to really talk about fatherhood, what that means to us, what that looks like, and truthfully, really get a grasp on what we look at as far as fathers, as far as men, as far as being sons, right? Being brothers, being, um, in today's society, what that looks like, especially from a black man's perspective, and having an open dialogue about that and being able to feel safe to discuss what we believe and what we feel. So with that, I will pass it over to my engineer, my brother, my good friend here.
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of brothers, that was a good segue.
Yeah.
But hey, yeah, my name is Don Crenshaw, of course. But yeah, I'm here. Not a father yet.
You on the way, man. You close.
Yeah,
You
I'm on the
close to
way.
it.
But yeah, just a father of a puppy right now named Dallas. No, we are not Cowboy fans. Just let me put that out there. Go Steelers.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, no, we're here to just go through the dialogue, and yeah, we have some Q&A. I'll read the questions. So let me bring that
we
up.
can do that for sure. Like so just to give people an idea, if you're not following, please follow the Safe Space on Instagram. It's the Safe Space 413. So feel free to follow, like and share. Actually, I think it's the Safe Space 416.
No, it's 413.
It's 413. I got it right. Yeah.
It's 413 from the Bible verse. So it's 413. I did want to point out too, while you guys are listening to it, you can always go to the Instagram. So the Instagram is the safe space _ 413. And what you can do is at the top right, you can click on sign up. On that sign up link, you can, just ask what you want to ask for us to answer personally, or what you think, we should talk about more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we will be having guests on in the future. We will have video in the future. So, this is just baby steps.
Yeah, we started from scratch, man. We started from the bottom. So, yeah, we'll start there. If you again, we on Instagram we asked for some Q&A, for some feedback on what it means to be a father, or what does fatherhood mean to people, or what are some questions people had about fatherhood. I realized, they say it all the time, like there's no perfect book, there's no perfect perfect guide to become a father, but I do believe that there's good teachings, there's good dialogue, there's
Right.
good mentorship, there's a lot of good, pastoring, there's a lot of good avenues out there. So if you didn't grow up with your father, or you didn't have a father figure, I think there are outlets and avenues available. But I think too, sometimes just being vulnerable and having the conversation is half the battle. And I think this will be a great segment for sure.
All right, so I'm going to ask the first question, just hop straight into it. All right. So there are many aspects of fatherhood, but the primary roles include providing, protecting, and being present. How do you fulfill those roles?
Yikes! Big question early.
Right, you want to break them up into three? Make it.
No, we can talk about it together, because again, they play a major part. I think they play a major part. So the primary roles with providing, protecting, and being present. And the biggest part for me, and again, a lot of this I'm speaking from a personal experience. Providing and protecting they're like number one. Like every day you wake up, you like, I have to protect my family, protect my children, and I'm going to work to provide.
You can't not do that.
Yeah, I mean, I have to do that. That is a must. That is a absolute non-negotiable option that I have every morning. Every day I wake up, and a lot of times, even while you're in those spaces, you're thinking about how to better provide, to better protect. Do I need to, get more security in our home? Do we need to purchase more firearms? Should we relocate to an area that has better, to lower crime rate and, higher acceptance to, different things to make sure that our families are safe and we're closer to police stations or whatever.
Mhm.
Like a lot of those things you have to think about throughout to really feel like you're doing the best you can for your family. Um, and then again, being present whenever my children are here with me and my wife, or whenever they're um, in our presence. I don't want to be where I'm so focused on everything else, like the providing and the protecting, that I can solely focus on being present for them, being um, making myself known, like knowing when I walk in the room, my kids are gonna scream and yell, run to me, "Daddy, Daddy." That means so much because that means, you know what, the time I was away from you, you were thinking about me as much as I was thinking about you.
Yeah.
So I know that my presence is being made known, and my presence matters in their presence, which is huge for me. So how do you kind of, I guess, prioritize it? I would just say they have different kind of timelines that they need to be, present, or in different spaces. One might precede the other, but in all of those and in fulfilling those, you have to give yourself in every aspect of those
Yeah. And it can
three
come at any
sections.
time.
And any time.
And it might be one that's more important on one day and one that's not more important on the other day. 'Cause
Right.
your kids are younger now, so they're not,
Yeah.
they're not playing sports to where, you got to travel an hour out, watch them for 30 minutes, and then, do it again. So, but I feel like when that time comes, you're saying like, hey, that's when it's time to, step up when it comes to being present.
Right. And like when my kids are in school, I'm not thinking about being present with them because they're in school.
Right.
They're having time with their friends, their teachers, their classmates. So at that point,
That's a part of providing, actually, because you put
yeah,
them in, you put them there.
if I didn't go to work, I couldn't afford to keep them in daycare or school, etc.
Yeah, so
right.
that's a part of providing and protecting, because you're trying to put them in a space where they can learn,
A safe
and they can be
space.
safe away from you. Hey, I see what you did there. I
Right.
like that.
Put them in a safe space. So again, with that, like you said, it's all those things can happen simultaneously, but with fulfilling that, right? To fulfill all of those things, I have to, one, make sure that I'm okay.
Mhm.
I have to be in the headspace that I'm okay. I'm in a good place. Me and my wife are in a good place, because I don't want any type of outside negativity or any type of frustration to ever be pushed down on them.
Can we ask, how do you do that?
How do I do, like, kind of, how do I separate that?
No, like what you just said. How do you give yourself in those spaces? Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So I will say this: through reading my Bible,
Okay.
through therapy, and also having open conversations with my spouse.
So important, man.
I mean,
I feel like that's 1, 2, 3, man. And people just make it so much harder than
simple.
it is.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Before, I tried to do a lot of it by myself. I was like, you know what? When we had conversations, especially around like communication and just how we dealing with different things. Like, I understand from day one, me and my wife have grown up differently. I grew up with 2 younger siblings. She grew up as an only child. Now, she grew up in DC. I grew up in Virginia. So we grew up differently, different places, different aspects. But with communication, she grew up where it was open dialogue. They could talk about anything. Nothing was off the table. And there was never any judgment.
Mhm.
When we realized that as soon as there was conflict in our home, our number one go-to was let's just not talk about it. If we don't talk about it, it's not real. We forget it. It doesn't affect us. We can move on from it.
Mhm.
But that's so unhealthy. And with going through therapy and learning that and how unhealthy that is, now my wife and I are having such great open dialogue and such great communication that makes it that much easier to do those things and prioritize that, and be able to create those spaces with our children and with each other. So again, I'm able to take that aside through therapy and saying, hey, if I'm not okay, then I can't then be as present as I would like to be for my children, or not a healthy way, right? They're seeing me there, but they also, because kids can feel, I mean, let me tell you, people who say that, oh, they're just kids. They won't understand. Kids know everything.
They really do.
They're so in tune with what's going on. And a lot of times we think, oh, they don't know that. No, they do. They hear it. They've seen it. They feel it. Especially feelings. Especially for my son, with him being autistic, he feels everything on a level of 100 every time.
Right.
And even my daughter, her being 2 years old, she can say, "What's wrong, Daddy?" And she knows. I say, "Baby, Daddy had a long day."
Right.
That's the best way to put it. I had a long day.
Yeah.
And I'd rather tell her I had a long day than say nothing's wrong, baby.
Right, because you're going to be like, every time I ask this man, nothing's wrong.
Nothing's
He's
wrong.
sad, nothing's wrong. He happy, nothing's wrong. Like, no, man, you got to explain your emotions.
Yeah. I mean, I just talked about it with my aunt this weekend, with our aunt this weekend, and she said, we were talking about something, and then somebody asked her what was wrong with her. She said, nothing, I'm fine. I was like, actually, no, you're not fine.
You're not fine.
You're
people
not
fine.
Fine.
People that say I'm fine, as soon as you ask it, they're automatically not fine. Because when you didn't listen to my answer, you didn't listen to my question.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't listen to what I had to say. You didn't take a second to really dig into, like, am I asking you on surface level?
Mm-hmm.
Or is this a safe space where you can just have that conversation? Or do you feel safe enough with me with that information? Right. So again, I think that's huge. It's that therapy portion is huge. And let me not take away from reading my Bible. Sometimes I just read just to start reading, and I was going through something, and the Lord put the right scripture in front of me. And even if it wasn't the right scripture for the specific thing I was dealing with, it still hit on a different level.
For some season.
I'm going to need
or
it.
somebody around you may need it. That's the huge thing with it.
Just speaking of that, last week, we had a friend coming from Tennessee. He pulled me aside and said, "Man, when you talked to me 9 years ago."
Oh, my boy.
Shout out my boy out there, man. Shout out my boy Zoom. But like I said, he pulled me aside and said, "Man, I appreciate you." He said, "Man, what you told me 9 years ago, I never expected it." He said, "I couldn't receive it then."
Mm-hmm.
Right? He said, "I didn't know how to receive it then. I took it, I heard you, and I'll move forward." He said, "I'm really seeing it now. And I just want to thank you for never trying to make fun or never trying to make me a highlighter or a joke. But you were sincere in what you were telling me, and it came from such a place that I have so much respect for you." I said, "Man, that's how I've always been. That's just as real as I could be."
Yeah.
But I said I would never put another black man down, another man down in general. Let me just say that. Yeah. But for sure, I'm not going to put a black man down in a predominantly white area in the South. Like I would never want to put you in a place like
Johnson
that.
City, Tennessee, the city of Johnson.
Man, the city of Johnson. Shout out East Tennessee State. Alma mater, man. We love y'all, but had to get up out of there.
So, what's crazy? My next question was, what's one myth about fatherhood? And you kind of already answered that by saying, like, they can't understand you and, they're not listening to you now. So you kind of already answered that.
So you saw like my kids aren't like hearing you, or like?
Well, what's one myth about fatherhood? Do you have that?
So I will say this. I think a myth. I don't even know if it's a myth, but I guess I'll look at it like this. I never knew how much was on my father's plate. Like I really sit back and look at our dad, and I say, man, I know you were strong. I know you provided. I know you made sure we were safe, and you were present in our lives. And I didn't know how much it took out of you.
Right. That's a lot.
Like I didn't realize the depth that it brought. Like I didn't realize how much you had to pour into us, how much you had to give every day, how much, no matter how tired you were. We just talked about the trip to Florida.
Right.
When I seen Dad for Father's Day this weekend, he was like, "Yeah, it was just," he said, "I remember working all night or all day, coming home, getting a bite to eat." I mean, he said literally like a sandwich. Packed the whole truck up, packed the van up with the things we needed to go to Florida from Virginia on a drive in a van with 3 kids overnight. After he done worked a 12-hour shift, drove another 12, 14 hours.
He was at GE too. I don't mean to cut you off, but he was, so he was
yeah,
working.
So he's
working.
not.
He wasn't like
he's not sitting at a desk. He's not remote working.
Yeah.
He's not sitting in an office, an air controlled environment. He's hard manual labor. 12 hours.
Yeah.
Got maybe an hour in between where he could from the drive from the job to the house. Maybe got a sandwich. Maybe took a shower. Changed clothes. Packed the car up. Got us in the car and just started driving.
Yeah, no complaining.
I've never witnessed my father complain.
To this day.
He won't complain now. Mind you, our father has survived stage 4 brain cancer. They said he only had 6 weeks to live. He's been here now 4 years by the grace of God. He's not one time complained.
Yeah, no.
And I've only seen him cry twice in this 33 years of life. So, and that was at our grandfather's funeral.
Of course.
And when he found out he had cancer.
Of course.
So again, I'm telling you, we were raised by a man's man, if I can say that, right? He's a strong black man who made sure he provided for his family and took care of them to the utmost degree. And he never complained about it. And I think the myth is that,
it'll always be great. Is that one?
That is a myth.
Or yeah.
That is a myth. It's
fatherhood's great. Yeah, go have 2, 3, 4 kids. Yeah.
And I think, you know what, for me, fatherhood is great. It is the blessing I didn't know I needed.
100% of the time though. That's the thing. Is it great 100% of the time?
It's not. Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. It's some
and
days,
that's okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
So this is my thing. I always say this. I always said, you know what? I could never just walk away from my kids. And it was a day, probably maybe a year ago. I was like, I could leave right now. and I was like, and again, I was joking about it. I wasn't being serious, but it was one of those things when guys, when men, I can't even know if I'll call them men. Let me not be disrespectful. Oh when men,
where are you going with this?
I was like, do I deserve to call them men? Right, men who walk away from their families. Like, is that still? We can get it. That's another topic. That's another
topic.
But let's stick with fatherhood, right? Within fatherhood, there are moments that I've even sat back and said, man, this is a lot on my plate. And I just need a second.
Out
loud, right? Say it out loud. I need a second. And I was able to have a candid conversation with my wife to say, hey babe, I need a moment. She said, I got you. She said, you good? I was like, no, I'm not. I was like, right now, I just need a moment. She heard me. She seen me and she heard me. She didn't just listen to me. She seen me and she heard me. I was able to take a second, breathe, be within the confinement of myself, allow myself to feel what I'm feeling, pray, meditate, do those things. Once I felt that weight off, I was able to come back to it like nothing happened.
Bro, and think about how many marriages where it's a woman who wants to help the man, but he's so, I'm straight.
I'm good. I got it.
I'm straight. So don't help. Basically, when you say that, you're saying, I don't need your help.
Like, so why will you even be here? Why are you even here?
Exactly. Like, that's why we're married, to help each other.
100%.
Oh, man. I just feel like that would save a lot of marriages. Just being vulnerable. And I know that's hard. It was hard for me.
Nah, that's tough.
So I get it. But, yeah, I think being vulnerable will help people in a lot of different ways. I think at their jobs. While you're in school, talking to your professor, you're like, man, you know what? He don't care about me. It's like 200 of us in here. Bro, he got GAs, he got TAs. Man, you tell your professor, hey, this is hard. Not that I don't want to learn it. Just the way that I'm learning it now isn't helpful. Do you have any help?
Yeah.
Any extra credit? Like, just speak. What's your favorite saying? What's your favorite saying? Not work harder, work smarter. What's your favorite saying?
Work smart, not harder.
Yeah. Work smarter, not harder. And mine is what is it? Something about eating with your mouth closed. What is it? Closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah,
Closed mouths don't get fed is my favorite saying ever. Because at the job I'm currently at now, I told my boss, I'm like, hey, if there's any way to move up, I'm down with it. Because I think I deserved it. I understand it. And I was in corporate like 2 months later.
Yeah, if you never say, I want to be great, how can you be close to greatness?
Yeah.
How can you ever glimpse greatness? Again, he's not my favorite player, but I'll use him as this example.
Oh my God.
LeBron James.
Oh my God.
LeBron James has exemplified greatness in every step of his career. And in every step of his career, he's had someone help him guide his step. He's not just said, I'm just going to walk and do this.
Right.
I'm not just doing this alone. In every step, in the school setting, he had help. He had these people guide him into creating the school. In his career path, he's had his agent. He's had his wife. He's had them say, hey, guys, does this make sense? What does this overall look like? He's made sure his body was best kept with facilities, with special training,
trainers,
with overall nutrition. Like he's made sure in every step of the way he didn't do it alone.
So us regular people, not all we need, but I think therapy and being vulnerable to your spouse, best friend, family, I mean, that's a part of it.
That's the number one step. That's the most simplified step I can say that will get you over the hump. Yeah. Because a lot of times, like you said, we're just so. We cannot keep telling our family and friends that we're okay when we're not. When I had a bit of a meltdown or a breakdown maybe a couple months ago, and I was trying to keep it to myself. I didn't want to know. My wife gave you a call. You called me and said, "Am I okay?" And I had to tell you, bro, I'm not okay.
You was like,
I first. Wait a minute. Let me. Yeah, go ahead. Tell me what I said.
I said, hey, bro, you straight? You good? He said, yeah, bro. I'm straight. You good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good right now, bro. But let me know what's going on.
And again, in that space, I was able to tell you how I was feeling, why I was feeling that way, because it was so heavy on me.
All valid too.
All valid.
All valid.
All valid. Again, but it was one of those things where we have that kind of relationship that we can have that conversation, and I never feel judged. I never feel like you're gonna look at me as less than a brother. Less than a friend, and for that, I appreciate that I have you in my life to do that, and I have people in my life to do that, not just one or two. I have a nice group of people. I have a nice circle of people I can go to and have that conversation.
It's important,
and a lot of times I think as men we have those spaces and people, but we don't utilize them because we're so afraid that somebody's going to look at us as weak or look at us as less than. Yeah, that's a big one. Why do we feel like we have to be less? Why do we feel like that?
Man, everybody on this earth has issues, has something happen when they were younger, from anything small, from like I'm sorry, let me take that back. Not small, but anything from like a parent not coming to their sports game.
Wow, that's good.
Basketball, football, or to like, some people were, I don't want to go there, but some people were touched when they were younger, and they either don't remember it or they do remember it, and they don't want to call out the family member, the person, or they're holding in the fact that they're mad at their parent that they let this happen. It's like you're holding in all this stuff, and you're wondering why you just can't get to the point in your life where you're not always feeling like you're running. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's huge. So we got, I think we can do probably 2 to 3 more questions. I like when you kind of go deeper into them. So I'd say maybe 2 and just.
Let's see how that goes for sure.
And do that. So let me see. What's a good one here? We did the myth. What do you enjoy the most about being a father?
Man, that's a tough. Oh my gosh, that's like a teary up question, man. What do I enjoy the most?
Yeah. What probably do what happened latest. That's
okay.
The most.
What I enjoy the most is watching my children interact with each other, how they love on each other, and also how they love on me and my wife. Like we can love on them, and I can give them all kind of love. And
Right.
I can hug on them, kiss on them, do all that. But the fact that they reciprocated to myself, to you, your wife, to Ashley, to our parents, to their, to all of their grandparents, like how they show love, like melts my heart. Like how they love people, how they show emotion to, like, it melts my heart because I'm like, man, that's a product of Ashley and I's love.
It's genuine.
It's genuine,
yeah.
Right? Like they're not telling you hi and giving you a hug because I told them to.
Right.
They're doing it because they have love for you all. Like they have love for people. And how they love how they love on us is just, it's amazing. I could literally tell Deuce that, hey, I didn't like how you did that. You hurt my feelings, or however we discipline him in doing the time. Within 30 minutes, I can't even say 30 minutes. Within like 10 minutes, he doesn't care about how I discipline him. He cares about that I still love him.
Right.
He comes to love on me because he wants to make sure, I don't care, Dad. I don't care how bad of the punishment is. I don't care what the punishment is. I want to always have your love. And that is like that is the touching point for me. Like having their love and seeing how they show love is, man, I couldn't ask for better children.
That's huge, and I guess of course I'm not a father yet, but I wouldn't even think of that. So that's that's a real good one. But no, you're my niece and nephew. They are very loving, and they can only get it if you give it to them.
100%.
So that's why when you see kids out here fighting, punching, kicking everything and everywhere, it's like, where'd they get that from?
Exactly, it's learned behavior.
Yeah.
Like, one is learned behavior, and two, you could tell like they're, again, I can only raise the children that I have in my home, but a lot of times you see it where kids aren't being loved or don't have a open dialogue situation or a safe space to show love.
Yeah.
Like if they feel like if I go try to hug my dad and he pushes me off of him,
man,
then you know what's gonna happen when somebody tries to show me love? I'm gonna push them off of me.
Man, what? We both went to college. We've seen young men and young women act like that. They get too close to real love. They're like, boy, what?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Girl,
I'm not on that.
I'm for the streets. They say it confidently.
Man, let me tell you, if I can tell y'all anything, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Next episode.
Next episode. Okay. But yeah, that's huge for me. Again, that might not be everybody's reasons or love of being a father or their favorite parts about being a parent, but like that for me is huge. And for us, our dad loved, hugged on us, kissed on us. Like at some point I was like, this is different. Everybody's not getting this.
Nah.
But I realized everybody's not getting this. So it's like, oh, okay. Like my dad and my grandfather showed like my grandfather was the one who showed love, and understanding how that lineage went down to us. Everything we do is all about showing love. Everybody's like, man, I just love being around the Crenshaws, man. Y'all just show love. I was like,
that's why I hate.
It takes too much work.
It's energy, man.
It's a lot of energy to hate and to show disrespect and to show that type of behavior when it's so much easier to love on people. And sometimes yeah, it might bite us in the butt, or it might be not reciprocated. Yeah, you got to have your boundaries for sure.
We had to learn that. Okay,
definitely had to learn that.
We here now,
but it's one of those things too where I'm still gonna show you love until you give me a reason not to.
Yeah,
and really until you give me a reason not to, I'm not going to try to hold back who I am to cater to you.
Same way with respect. It's kind of
they
dang near intertwined. I'm gonna give you all your respect till you can lose it though.
You can definitely lose it.
You can lose it.
You can lose it, and when you lose it, that's cool. I know where you are. At least I know where you are, and I can treat you as such.
That's good. That's good. So I might ask another question. We can maybe do two more, but the next one I can answer too. So
yeah, sure. Let's do it.
All right. Where is it at? Okay. How would your father describe you? So I'm gonna go first.
Please.
So my father, so let me explain my dad. This may give like more of a context, but my father is one of those, y'all know those guys like something's broke in your house, they can go get like a pencil and duct tape and fix it. That was my dad. Or, you were driving by. If you were my friend and you drove to my house, your car made a weird sound, my dad's gonna be like, you need to get your belt fixed. Or this on your tire messed up. Yeah. Or the bearing on this is messed up. So I don't forgot the question. I just wanted to talk about pops. What was the question? How would your father describe? Okay. My father would describe me as silly. Probably he wouldn't say goof. He might call me goofball. Yeah. Silly. The reason I was bringing up the fact that he works on cars is because I'm the exact opposite. I'm not like a car type of guy. But if your internet was messed up, you need to figure out how to change your password manually. You need to hack into somebody's internet. I'm your guy.
Wow, that escalated.
That's me, but I'm more of a technical, computer savvy type guy, which Pops isn't. So I think I became that to just kind of like counteract him. Like he can take your tire off, put the new one back on, clean it up for you in like 2 minutes, and I can get your laptop running fast in 2 minutes. That's just how we set up. So he may even say I'm lazy. Like look at his hands. His hands not dirty. Yeah, his hands not messed up, but it's because I'm setting up podcast equipment. I'm not working on cars. You know what I'm saying? I'm building sites for my side business. I'm not, hey, person down the street need an oil change. You do it for them? Sure. No, sir, not me. I find you a discount online or something, boy.
Right.
Google.
Right. Yeah, I can help you get there, but I ain't.
Yeah, I can help you get there. I can send you in the right direction.
Right.
But that's about it. So yeah, he probably called me silly, loving, and probably just lazy because I don't like to work on cars. But he would definitely call me.
Let's say manual labor. You're not big on manual labor.
Yeah, I'll do it if I have to.
Yeah, if the need is there for sure.
Yeah. And then from working from a car rental service with me and you both worked, I know the ins and outs of it, and I know some stuff is not as expensive as people are paying for it. So that's why I'm like, I'm gonna go to this place, or if I can do it by myself, I will. So yeah, those are the three things he would probably label me as. So what about you?
So repeat the question for me, just so I have it.
So how would your father describe you?
My father would describe me. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good question.
He's always said, I am a jack of all trades.
Facts.
And a master of none.
Facts.
He knows, for example, whatever my pops threw at me as I was a kid, I was able to figure it out. Whether it be educationally, whether it be physically, whether it be through sports or just general around the house things, whatever. I was always quick to figure it out, or once he showed me once how to do it, I could run with it and kind of, that's why he always said, man, you could just about do anything, jack of all trades. And he said that to me, I'm pretty sure I was, it was either pitching a baseball game, or it was changing the brakes on my grandmother's car. So it was during one of those times he was like, I appreciate you always being able to take care of yourself. He said his biggest fear was he didn't want me to be without or not know how to do something. So he showed me hundreds of things. So I had an idea, but I never was able to master any of it.
That fatherly instinct. He just want to make sure you were straight across the board. So you was like, I'm gonna spread across the whole board instead of picking my side.
Right.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, I was never able to say like, this is my lane. I ran a race with 9 lanes, and I never finished the race.
But you in the head though, everybody's voting for you to win, but it ain't over.
It's not
gonna be over.
It's not gonna be over. But like again for him, because I think he always felt like because I knew a little bit of everything, that I may or may not feel like I was better than him or better than our family. But I always tell him, and I always want him to know, and again, even for you, I want you to know, it's never that I felt like I was better than anybody, but I wanted to carry myself with so much integrity and pride that if that's the feeling that it gave off, that's what gave off. That's what was given off at the time, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was never the intention, because my father always told me to be confident.
Mm.
When we had those basketball camps, and I used to be like, well, you know, Dad, I'm not as quick as those other guys. He's like, yeah, but you can shoot better than him.
Rock it out.
You can make the better pass. Do what you can do to your best ability, and you will shine. You will, but you need to be confident in doing those things.
Yeah.
So he never realized, by him instilling that in me at an early age, that confidence is just going to grow.
Yeah.
So in every room I walk in, it's like I'm going to command the room because I'm confident enough to do so.
It's a useful tool, man. A lot of these kids be at like McDonald's and fast food places now and be doing like piss poor just work, and you can feel it. You can tell by the food and the service. People just said the Chick-fil-A, we don't feel like it's their pleasure no more. It's because high school is there.
You're right.
Without pops telling them, you know, what he told you. You know, wherever you at, do it to your best ability.
Yeah.
You know
if you're sweeping the floor, you should be that floor should be the best swept floor.
I should be able to eat off of it.
Man.
Maybe after you mop it, but
yeah, I'm gonna have to mop it first for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, for sure. Whenever you do it to your best of abilities. So I took that same ideology in college, took that same ideology in corporate America. I can walk in the room and they're going to be like, okay, not just because I'm the one black guy.
Right.
Not just because I have dreads, not because I have a beard, not because I wear glasses, but because I command the room with my sheer ambiance, my sheer just overall of me being myself. My genuine self is going to carry me further than trying to fit in.
And you're confident, not cocky. That's a huge difference.
And you know what's funny? I just told a coworker the other day, I was like, I'm not. She was like, you know, you're just overconfident. You're just cocky. I was like, well, what it is I believe in what I can do. I believe in my abilities. And nothing you've thrown at me has been difficult. Now, am I quick to learn it? Yes. Is it going to take some time? Absolutely. But nothing you're doing is out of this world or out of my range.
Right.
And if it is, I have to learn about it. But the problem is, once you teach me or once I learn about it, be prepared. Right. Be prepared for me to be in a better situation, in a better place with that. Or even outwork you in that space because you know it to a certain level.
Right.
Then once you show me that certain level, I'm going to take it to the next level as well because I want to be better.
Right. What's next? What's next?
100%.
Yes, that was a good one. So, I got a good topic I want to talk about.
Go ahead.
But I don't know if we should save it for the next pod or not. We have 40 right now.
I mean,
it's real good. I'm gonna say it, but we're gonna do it next episode. How about that?
Before you do that,
okay,
I do want to. We did have a new company just come out that we wanted to put a quick shout out on.
Okay.
And do a quick ad. So there's a new company out. If you're in your job or in a space and you're trying to figure out what's next, and you need help with getting to the next level, the next phase in your career, or elevating yourself from job to career, please reach out to the Resume King, _Resume King on Instagram right now. I'm already seeing testimonials. People are already getting not 2 or 3, but 4 to 5 different interviews It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Off of a resume builder, off of a resume creator. This person is coming in and really revamping the resume to fit customized jobs, career paths, goals. And I really think in our community that's huge. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to shout this brother out. And the _Resume King. You can follow him right now on Instagram. And you want to add something to
that? Hey man, if you mention the safe space, you get $5 off.
Ooh, look at that. Okay, so if you mention the safe space, is there a discount code on the website?
Not a discount code, just mention it.
Just mention the safe.
The way it's built out, whatever plan you pick, you have to fill out a form and it has a comment section. Just add it to the comment section. I came here from this.
Add the safe space to the comment section. You get $5 off. So what more can I tell you? So we wanted to really spotlight a black-owned business, really changing the game right now in the job market. So They said we help you rule the job market, so let's run it up.
All right, so before we finish out, I want to say what the topic is going to be, or I guess one of the topics for next time. But me and my wife was in the car. We was at Jenny's. If you're in Charlotte, North Carolina, you know about Jenny's Fire. And we were talking about how people just love to complain and blame God, blame themselves, blame family members, and blame everybody around them. And I was in the car and I was just like, who said it was going to be perfect? The Bible don't say that. The Quran don't say that. If you a Catholic, they don't teach that there. It's not going to be perfect. So why do people get so stirred up and just start to spew out hate when something's not going perfect?
Learn behavior.
We're not doing it this pod.
I'm with you, but I'm just going to quickly. I'm just going to quickly say. I'm going to quickly say, the learned behavior is the first thing we do instead of taking accountability is going to reverberate, and we push out. It's somebody. It can't be me. It can't be me. Like there's no way it's me.
My word of the year is accountability. Accountability. That is my word of the year.
Mine is balance.
Okay,
mine is balance. So we can definitely talk about that next time. But yes, I before I go out, is there any? So we answered some of the questions they sent us on the from Instagram from the Q&A. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you wanted to ask? Because I know you're on the way to becoming a father. You're not a father yet.
That's for me personally.
Yeah, okay. I'm saying just you personally. Is there something personal that you ever wanted to know about being a father, or something you wanted to discuss? Because I think it's again, this is a safe space, and I just if there's something that's on your mind, like what could you be put out there?
I think I would say, and I have a close friend who had to do it, but I think it's how would you go about trying to, I guess, start a family and get a home at the same time. That's kind of like a main concern.
Now, I will say, my vision may be a bit skewed, 100%. Right? We were blessed in a sense that someone was able to put us in the right place to buy our first home, being a home able to fit our family, mm-hmm. grow in, right, learn from. So, I will say, you have to take it. It's a stepping stone.
One step at a time.
Yeah. One step, but and also don't get in your own way. Okay, where a lot of times you see people like, well, I can't have a baby yet because I'm not in the house, or I can't buy a house yet because I don't have the baby, right. Or I can't. Hey, you do what God's plan is for you at that time, because if the market and the interest rates on homes are out of this world right now, this might not be the time to buy the house. Yeah. If you know that insurance is changing over and this might not be where you want to look for, and you haven't found the primary care doctors or the best OBGYN to best, facilitate your wife and your family's needs, it's not ideally time to have a baby until you find those things. So I say, my wife is always big on, she finds Black doctors, Black OBs, and she makes sure they build relationships. So when those times come, these people look out for you. Like when Ashley was in the hospital and we were getting ready to leave with our daughter after she had complications with having her, our doctor said, no, you need to stay. When we were being pushed out by the hospital, her doctor stepped in and said, hey, this is a young Black woman who's got high blood pressure, she's got other things going on. She's going to stay a couple days, and it's going to be on y'all because you guys wanted to push her out, so we're going to push the bill to you all. Yeah. Right? So, again, we fell into our house because our townhouse they were selling the properties. They were saying that the prices were going to be double the price the next year. We ended up finding a house that was around the same price that we paid for rent, and we were able to purchase our home through COVID with a low interest rate and get a great deal. I mean, it's one of the things like, I can't even say that it was in a perfect timing. I can only say it was in God's timing. Mm-hmm. In God's timing, He did everything we were looking for, we asked for. A lot of times we didn't even ask for it. We didn't ask Him to find us a home. We just kept saying, we're just gonna find something. We just praying to God it's gonna work. It will work itself out. And in that, everything just kind of fell in line. But I will say, if you're strategically trying to do that, I would say work on your credit to make sure you can get a decent home at a decent interest rate, and look at programs for new home buyers. And if you're looking to have a baby, make sure you map and charter all those things out. This is where we're looking at having a baby in this location. If you choose this state, okay, what is the best hospitals? What are the best doctors for those things? Let's get in contact with these people because we want to make sure when the time comes, we at least did our part.
Right.
God will do the rest.
That's facts.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to my brother for being here. When I first started this podcast, everybody would, I think I gave the quick testimony in the intro, the first episode, but it was funny because everybody said, you needed to start something, you need to do something, people need to hear from you, and I kept battling the idea because I was like, I just don't want to do it by myself. And when so you guys will hear a family episode at some point. That's funny enough. I'll say this now. You guys might not remember it when we put it out there, but it came from a sound check. And it was so powerful. We was like, oh, we got to use this.
Yeah.
But in that moment, in that split second moment, God said, I never said you had to do it alone. I just told you to do it. Mm-hmm. Now, what it looks like is whatever God's going to bring in. I think he brought to my attention that I needed help. And he placed my family in front of me and showed me what this could be. And I was like, there's no way I wouldn't do it without my brother. Like, we might be 5 years apart, but we're probably more like twins as far as just how we operate, how we do things. And that's no shade to our other brother. We can call ourselves trips if we want. We got to shout out to our brother Cyrus, man. He's out in Tennessee rocking it out. But we just have such a connection. And there's no way I would do this without him. Like, trying to do it without him looked ridiculous in my mind, or it just didn't feel like my steps were being ordered.
Yeah.
When you walked in a room and you had your computer and you start plugging things up, it was like, God said, this is what I need.
This is what it's supposed to look like.
This is what it's supposed to look like, right? Yeah. So yeah, I just want to thank you, man, for your vulnerability, your unwavering sacrifice and love for me, and I appreciate you for that. And I just want to tell you I love you, man, and give you your flowers here and now. But this is about to take off, and I'm just glad you're on the ride with me.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you for being obedient.
Yes,
because I know that's hard to do. Whether you believe in God or not, like when you feel something in your stomach, I call it the fire. When you feel that fire and you don't have nowhere for it to go, it's gonna get bigger and bigger till you explode. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad you're being obedient, and you're gonna be rewarded for it.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. Well, that wraps up episode 2, man. Season 1, episode 2 in the books. So again, please like, share, and follow. We just appreciate you guys, and just welcome to the family. Like, again, we tell people all the time, once you really, it's like you coming to my house. Once you come to my house once, man, after that you family.
Good.
So you good. So we ask y'all just to come back, be a part of this family, join the safe space. Let's go up together, man.